Welcome to the Sunday night week 3 edition of the PTW podcast. The 2024 NFL season is very much underway. I'm coming to you live from my bathroom as there are no other rooms in the house that are available for me to do this podcast at this moment. But we do what we can. I am joined, as always, by wait for it, Tossie, the football Greek, as I point to him in the right direction. Finally. We are here,
What's
Toss,
up?
after wow, what a week 3. And we haven't even gone to the two Monday night games, but what a week 3. And we're going to go
Irritating
through
week
all of
three.
it. We're going to go through all of it. We're going to go through the ups and the downs, the surprises. And there was a lot of surprises this week.
Yeah.
My goodness, this Sunday was chock full of them.
hmm
But this is a friendly reminder that if you are new to the podcast, myself and Tossie break down the NFL season twice a week here on YouTube. We will also be streaming on other platforms like Facebook and Instagram in the coming weeks. And we are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. So if you can do us the biggest favor and like and subscribe to the PTW podcast as we continue to grow on this platform, as we continue to grow this podcast, and we're having a lot of fun doing this. We hope that
Oh
you
yeah.
are having a lot of fun listening to our shenanigans as we talk about our favorite sport in the world, the NFL, and all the heartache and all the joy and the sadness that comes along with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're going to
hmm
start with your favorite topic, Tossie, and that
Yeah.
is the Chiefs getting bailed out again on Sunday Night Football. Talk to me.
Yeah. I mean, what's there to say at this point, man? It's like there's gonna be a call. It's gonna be egregious. It's gonna be either gonna go for the Chiefs or against them, or I mean, not against them because it never goes against them, but it should go against them. But they don't call
Mm.
it. And so, like today, it was the pass interference in the end zone. Kyle Pitts gets by his guy. He's completely wide open. All he can do is run into his chest and try to tackle him, wrap him, and basically the refs don't call it. It would have been first and goal in the like basically on the 1 yard line. They would have had
Yep.
four chances basically to run the ball in or to get the go ahead touchdown and then go for two because I'm sure they were only down five, so I'm sure they would have gone for two to try to make it a field goal lead. But
Yeah.
it's just the most annoying thing. Like this guy does not like you watch the game. Mahomes is not playing that well, and he just gets bailed out over and over and over again. It's just like you're manufacturing this guy to like have the best team essentially. It's not like he's like wowing us with plays or he's doing these great things like he was doing a few years ago. Like, yeah, he was great a few years ago. He was awesome. He used to make plays. He used to do all these things that everyone was like, "Oh man, this guy's amazing. He's like the next coming, right?" But now he just gets bailed out. He just gets bailed out. Travis Kelsey isn't doing nothing. Like I said, he's washed. They got Rasheed Rice. Like the guy's like has like a felony against him, and like they didn't suspend him like they would do normally with other people. Like they're just letting him play. It's like why are they giving this guy so much leeway? You know, everywhere everybody's talking like, hey, the Chiefs get bailed out again. Of course they get bailed out again. I mean, they're always getting the benefit of the doubt. They're always getting the calls. They're getting the calls in the Super Bowl. They're getting the calls in each game. They're not getting calls against them when they should. And it's just another example tonight. They get another win. We said the Falcons. I thought the Falcons were going to win, and they should have won. They should have won. Now, granted, the coach made a mistake. He should have kicked the field goal when he had the chance, because then he would have been down two, and then they would have got the ball back if they stopped him, and they would be able to kick the game-winning field goal. So he made
Yeah.
a mistake there. But in the end, it should have never came to that. They should have been able to get the touchdown on a basically a blatant pass interference that they didn't call. So that's my beef. Ran over, but man, it's annoying. It's just so annoying, man. This guy's annoying.
I, I
He's not good
I think
anymore.
yeah. Yeah, I think the NFL, well, not necessarily, I wouldn't say like the NFL isn't like in cahoots or whatever, but it does seem to be that the calls do seem to go the Chiefs' way quite a bit. And it, you know, if there is a darling in the NFL, it is Patrick Mahomes. If there is a
Oh
darling
yeah.
franchise in the NFL right now, it is the Chiefs.
Yep.
Um, they are the feel-good story, a franchise that historically, correct me if I'm wrong, no, they didn't win the first Super Bowl, but they won one of the first. They were, I think, they won like the second or third, something like
Yeah,
that. They
they're
they
right.
they were they were in it for a while. They were a decent team
Mm-hmm.
in the beginning of the Super Bowl era,
The
and
Hunt
then did
family, right?
really nothing for quite a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
And so, the fact that they have become this franchise, lucked into getting Patrick Mahomes when they did, and were smart enough to pick up a head coach of the caliber of an Andy Reid,
Yeah.
Hall of Fame coach, obviously. Um, but yeah, sometimes you need luck, and it seems to be that with the Chiefs, it's not sometimes they get lucky a lot of times.
So then it becomes:
Um,
is it luck, or is it like there is alternative motives? I don't know,
there's
man. I don't
collusion.
like it.
There's
Yeah.
collusion.
It's where are the tapes?
Look,
Where's the
yeah,
server?
right. Um, yeah, let's talk about the Falcons for a second because I
Yeah.
think this has been a pleasant surprise. Week one, they
Yeah.
looked terrible. We were talking about the demise of Kirk Cousins,
We
bringing in
were.
Michael Penix Jr. The season's already
Yes.
over, and here you
Yes.
go, 2 weeks in a row. They look very competent against two
Hmm.
very good teams, and I
They
I
have a
think
good
they're the real
defense.
deal. I
Yeah, they
think
have a
they're the
good
real deal,
defense.
and I think in the South, especially with New Orleans losing this week, it's gonna be a tough New Orleans and the Bucks losing actually. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
tough race, right?
So,
For that division. So that's a division to look out for.
and
We're gonna
now
stay in the
Andy Dalton.
NFC. Andy Dalton,
Now Andy
the
Dalton's
Red
back.
Rifle,
The
man.
Red Rifle. We
We'll
thought
talk.
now the Carolina's only a game out of first.
Yeah, we'll talk about him in a bit, but we're gonna stay in the NFC.
Hmm.
And I hate to do this to you, but back to back, we're gonna talk about it. The Rams upset at home against the San Francisco 49ers, giving up, coming back in the last 2 minutes of the game and winning by three on a last second field goal. Tossie, what the hell happened? I know the Niners were depleted with injuries, but the
Yeah.
Rams were also depleted with injuries. What happened in this game?
So I'm going to start with the positive, believe it or not, in the game, and that
Okay,
was
go ahead.
Juwan Jennings completely balled out. Brock Purdy
He
played a great
killed it.
game. They're on, they're on fire. They did everything that they needed to do to win the game between those two guys, but the rest of their team let them down. Their defense, their special
Mm,
teams, and Ronnie Bell. I mean, dude, catch the ball. Catch the fucking ball, bro.
mm,
It's just like right to him. He's going to put him in field goal range to win the game. The dude can't catch the ball. He just drops it. Hits him right in the hands. It would have been at the 15-yard line. And then on top of that, he had dropped a pass earlier that would have been a first down and that would have extended the drive. And then they wouldn't have been in that position in the first place. They would have been even needed it. Then you go to the defense side of the ball. The defense, like literally, they gave them 133 yards in penalties. They
yeah,
had three massive pass interferences, including the game-winning field goal. And then their secondary just can't cover nobody. It's just crazy to me. I don't know if Travarius Ward is hurt or what, Mooney Ward, whatever you want to call him. He was MIA and he was getting burnt. And he got burnt by Tutu Atwell, like their Rams fifth wide receiver, literally
hmm
all game long. And so it just was just disappointing to watch them just cough up another 10-point fourth quarter lead. I mean, they were leading by 2 touchdowns basically the whole game. The
Yep.
Rams scored. They got the fake punt. Shanahan even said they were ready for the fake. They were expecting a fake punt there. Like, well, what's happening? Why aren't you playing the right defense to stop the fake punt? I mean, that was like a huge
hmm
swing for the Rams because it basically kept them in the game. Because I think if the Niners would have stopped them there, they would have gone up probably 3 scores, and then the game would have been over by the halftime. But
Yeah.
no, they let them back in the game. Rams get a score. The Niners can't capitalize at the end of the half. They can't get a field goal. The Rams get the ball back. Basically, there we go. We're tied. We're basically gonna get tied up by the end of the game because of just ridiculousness. And then, of course, Jake Moody cannot make a field goal when he needs to make a field goal. Like a 55-yarder at SoFi, he's made them in the past. He's capable of
Mhm.
making a field goal. 2 minutes left. You make the field goal there, it's done. Now, on 3rd and 5, for some reason, Shanahan's throwing the ball when they're in field goal range. I think at that moment, you run the ball. You burn some clock. You
Burn
see if you can
clock,
get closer. Maybe you get the
100%.
first down. Maybe you make it a 4th and 1. It's in At that point you can decide, I'm going to take the 50-yard field goal there, or am I going to go for it and try to just ice
Hmm.
the game. You're up 7 at that point. You're like literally in one more first down. Then you win the game. So it's
Hmm.
just coaching decisions, special teams. Like they the guy drops the ball, then they got a punt, right? They let him get a punt return, put him in field goal range basically, or get him down to the 50 with a minute
Yeah.
left. It's just like mistake after mistake, just doing the stupid things, not catching the football, not covering a punt, not making a field goal, not making the right coaching decisions, not managing the clock. It's just all these things. It's for a team that was in the Super Bowl last year, was clearly the best team all year, and probably should have
Yep.
won the Super Bowl. For them to come back with basically the same team, I know they have injuries, but they
Hmm.
dominated the Rams the entire game. They're a way better team. You could see it. But they just let them hang around with stupid things, with stupid penalties, with missed coverages. Just in the end, you let a team stick around. Niners literally led that game for 59 minutes,
Hmm.
and they lost in the 60th minute.
Yeah,
Just
you shared a
ridiculous.
stat with me. You want to talk about that stat real quick? You sent me a text message that had a very interesting stat about Joe Montana, Steve Young,
Yeah,
and Brock Purdy.
yeah. Brock Purdy, he was over 70% completion rate, and he threw for
Hmm.
3 touchdowns. The only other 2 times that's happened is Steve Young and Joe Montana, and that's over a course of like 30 years. And they still lost this game because they had 6 drop passes. So the 8 incompletions that Purdy had, 6 of them were drop passes.
Hmm.
6. He
Hmm.
he almost he could have been at like 90 something percent completion. He was right on target all game. He played an awesome game. He was scrambling. He was making plays with his legs. He was hitting everybody like in stride, right in the hands. And dudes like Ronnie Bell, man, like if you're an NFL player, you can't catch. You're an NFL receiver. You can't. You drop not one but 2 in your hands. It's like the game's over. Just catch the ball. Catch it. It's like, what's wrong with you, man? Anyways, I'm done, man. I'm done with my rant. Rant 2 over. But dude, like, just just catch the ball. Catch the
I
ball.
feel
Make the
your
kick.
pain.
Game over.
I feel your pain. I feel your pain. Um,
I hope they
the
cut him,
Niners
man.
let the Rams
They
hang.
should cut him.
Yeah,
He's done.
the
You shouldn't be
Niners.
on the team. You can't be on the team if you can't catch. You're a receiver and you can't catch the ball. You shouldn't be on the team. You should be cut. He's done. In my mind.
The
If I see him out there, I'm gonna
Niners
be pissed.
let the Rams hang around. Both teams
Mm-hmm.
are now 1-2 going into week 4 of the season. From one disappointing performance or disappointing ending, the Niners dominated 59 minutes. You know what team did not dominate for 59 minutes? My team. We're going to talk about my team because it's my turn to rant. So
Floor
I
is
had I
yours.
had I had no illusions. I had no illusions of grandeur that the Miami Dolphins were going to take the longest domestic flight in the NFL from Miami, Florida to Seattle, from Hard Rock Stadium to whatever stadium Seattle Stadium is called, and pretend like they were going to win the game. What I did expect was for them to put up a fight. And I will say this before I completely crap on the team. The defense, granted, the final score was 24-3. The
Yeah.
defense actually played really
They
well.
did play well.
Really, really
They
well.
kept them in the
Really
game.
well. They kept them in
Yeah.
the game. They consistently pressured Geno Smith.
Yeah.
They consistently stopped the running game. Yeah, granted, they Seattle scored 17 points early in the first quarter, but after that, Seattle did nothing until the
Mm-hmm.
last 3 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why Miami lost this game, the sole reason is that I'm going to
Skylar
say it.
Thompson.
No, no.
Okay.
I'm over Mike McDaniel.
Mm,
I'm over it because you are now in year 3 of your
yeah.
NFL tenure as head coach, and outside of a really fun and maybe fluky win over the Ravens in week 2 of your first season, and outside of um, you barely beating the Buffalo Bills in the sweltering heat in Miami the following week of the first year of your NFL season,
Yeah.
you, Mike McDaniel, have beaten nobody of note.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
And you had 10 days to game plan for the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
And the result is that your best threat, the number 1 player in the NFL,
Mm-hmm.
according to his peers,
Yeah.
did nothing.
4
He
for
was
40.
invisible,
Mm-hmm.
invisible in this game.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Skylar Thompson had 13 completions out of 19 attempts, 170 yards. Tim frickin' Boyle, 7 of 13 for 79 yards. Your Tyreek Hill only had 3 receptions out of 5 targets. Why is Tyreek
3.
only
Yeah.
getting 5 targets?
Yeah.
5 in a game that you absolutely had to win, in a game that you absolutely have to show up for. And
Yeah.
when Seattle was basically their defensive wall when it came to stopping the run was like Swiss cheese, and you have Devon Achane and you have Jalen Wright. Why are you not running the ball? Why do you consistently insist on freaking passing? I don't know what it is about the Kyle Shanahan tree, the Matt LaFleur tree, the whatever
Yeah.
tree that like you
Yeah.
just alluded to it for the Niners. Like you should run on third when you know you to burn clock. I don't know why these coaches are so goddamn pass happy,
Yeah.
but your best threat at the quarterback position is on IR. You put him on IR, which is really interesting because if he's concussed, why is he flying from Miami to Seattle? So is he
Yeah.
concussed or is he not concussed? Why did
Yeah.
you put him on IR for 4 weeks? That part is very interesting to me. Number two, I am so sick and tired of like, oh no, we think Skylar Thompson is just as good as no BS. You didn't want Tua to have a quarterback competition because you didn't want his feelings to get hurt because you
Mm-hmm.
didn't want him looking over his shoulder the entire time. You could have at any time. Look at what Andy Dalton did today. Look at
Yeah.
what Baker Mayfield's doing in Tampa Bay. Look at what freaking what's the quarterback in Green Bay? What the hell's his name right now?
Malik Willis.
Look at what the hell Malik Willis is doing, okay? I don't look at what Justin Fields is doing. I don't want to hear that there
Sam
were no
Darnold.
other options. Look at what Sam Darnold's doing. BS that there's no other options.
Yep.
You didn't want Tua to get scared, and so what you decided to do is baby him and tell him that the franchise is his and give him a contract when you didn't have to and all those things because hey, miraculously he played 17 games last year and he made it through all 17 games. Guess what? Against teams that were really, really good, he sucked in those games.
He did.
Okay? So
He
I'm
did.
over this. I'm over this narrative that, you know, Miami was just like one step away or was the injuries or whatever. No. Mike McDaniel as a person, I think is a great dude. I think he can make his players feel really good. They want to play in Miami. They want to play for him. That's
Miami
great.
Mike.
You cannot coach against good teams. Period.
Yeah.
Period. You have not shown me in the 3 years that you've been the coach. You're in year 3, so the 2.5 years of being the coach of the NFL of the Dolphins in the NFL that you can coach against good teams. You just haven't shown it to me. You had 10 days to game plan for this, and this was your plan.
Yeah.
Your plan sucked.
He
Your plan
didn't have a
absolutely
plan.
sucked.
It was so bad. It
Your
was
plan
so
was
bad.
terrible. Your plan is to give Skylar Thompson the ball and let him be the dude that like leads you down. Are you freaking kidding me? Where are the gadget plays? Where are the plays to Braxton Berrios and Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and Devon Achane? Like you have this embarrassment of riches on offense, and this is
Yeah.
your plan? So no,
Yeah.
Skylar Thompson didn't lose this game for the Dolphins. Mike McDaniel 1,000% lost this game for the Dolphins. It is 100% on him. Good for the Seahawks going to 2-1,
Three
the
and
top
zero.
of the division.
3-0.
Or they're 3-0. They
Yeah.
haven't lost. Good for the
Nope.
Seahawks. 3-0. Good for you. But you know
So
what?
annoying.
That's the end of my rant because I'm going to move on to something that we both can agree on. Are
Yeah.
you ready for this? Because we didn't talk about this before we started.
Yeah.
By the way, the Dolphins are not winning a game until Tua comes back. They're definitely losing against Tennessee next week on Monday Night Football. I'm just putting that out there right now.
I don't
100%,
know, man. That's
1,000%.
yeah.
No,
They did lose some last year.
first off, I feel bad for the Monday Night Football audience because that's going to be a terrible game next week. I don't even think I want to watch that game to be honest with you. And I'm the hardcore Dolphins fan, but like I'm not interested in that game. But you know who the best team in the NFL is, Toss? The
Minnesota
Minnesota
Vikings.
Vikings are the best team in the NFL after their win over the Houston Texans. And I don't think that's debatable. I think the
Yeah.
Minnesota Vikings have shown on both sides of the ball, maybe even all three sides of the ball, because I don't know what their special teams did today. I don't know if they did anything special on special teams. But at least on two sides of the ball, the two most important sides of the ball, if you will, offensively and defensively, this team kicks ass, dude.
Yeah.
This
Yeah. No,
team kicks
they're
ass.
a good team. They
Sam
got
Darnold gets hurt. He gets hurt. He goes out one play. He comes right back. He's like, nope, I'm still playing. And
yeah.
throws for, again, four touchdowns.
Yeah.
And the
He's doing his
defense
thing.
under Brian Flores is getting another head coaching job, dude. Which is
Yeah.
hilarious because he's still
Yeah.
he's still suing the NFL, by the way. That's still a thing.
It's
He's still suing the NFL. And teams are
wild.
going to be lining up, bro, because he is killing it as the DC in Minnesota. Minnesota
He is.
is absolutely the best team in the NFL right now.
They are. They got the offensive players. They got the weapons. They got Aaron Jones doing his thing. They got Justin Jefferson doing his thing, and then Sam Darnold, man, like he took that year. He came to San Francisco. He, he really matured. He learned how to, like basically be an NFL quarterback. And now look at what's happening. Like I think there's something to be said about that, like which is positive for for what the Niners have in their locker room, or at least in their quarterback room, right? With Purdy and with like you look at all the guys that have had success there, like Garoppolo, like Purdy, like it's just
Yep.
now Darnold. So it's interesting that he just has kind of like has that presence now. He's playing really calm. He's playing within. He's making the right plays. He's doing all those things that you need to do to be a great quarterback, and he's balling out right now. So he's got his team in first place. They're undefeated. Them and the Seahawks and the NFC. And I think they're definitely just compared. Watching both teams, I think definitely the Vikings are the best team. And the other 3-0 team, is what Kansas City. They're they're all right.
The Buffalo
you
will be
know
3-0 after tomorrow.
yeah, I think so too. So I
Yeah.
think that'll be the four 3-0s, and then there's Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh,
We'll get to them. We'll get to them. We'll get to them.
awesome, that we'll talk about soon. So it's like, but if you look at all those teams, like we said, like definitely the best team in the NFC. Is And I would say overall in the NFL, they're better than Buffalo. Just doesn't have enough to me to be considered the best team. And like I think Kansas City, I think are frauds, but they just get all the calls. So Vikings definitely the best team right now in the NFL.
We're going to keep going because we've got a lot to talk about. A team that many had picked to go to the AFC Championship finally gets their first win of the season. It comes on the road against the Cowboys. The Ravens win a must-win game over the Cowboys, and
Yeah,
it
got
wasn't
dicey.
close. It got
Got
dicey
dicey
at
in the
the
end.
end. It got
It
dicey at the
did.
end. I will give the Cowboys credit. They
Yeah,
came back. They made it fun.
made
They
it a game.
were they were they
It
made it
was
a
a
game
blowout.
absolutely, and that it was a blowout up until that point. But
Yeah,
props to the Cowboys for coming back and making it a game, scoring 19 points in the fourth quarter. But just I think it was too little, too late
and
at
Derrick
that point.
Henry, man,
Um,
showed up like him and Lamar doing their thing.
yes,
Derrick Henry was
yes.
just doing
What a
his
pickup.
beast mode. Yeah, like
Derrick
doing his stiff
Henry,
arm. Yeah,
25 carries, 151 yards and two
Yep,
TDs, averaging 6
yep.
yards a run. My goodness, man.
He was he was
Uh,
full Derrick Henry, full what they call him, King Henry. He was doing his thing, man, and he had another one of those like stiff arms where everybody's like, "Oh man!" So, it was good to see. I mean, Baltimore, I think they they could easily be 3-0. Like it's just one of those things where they kind of crapped the bed against the Raiders last week, and then the week before they lost by
yeah.
the toe. So I think the Ravens are gonna be there again. I mean, we talked about it. I picked the Niners and the Ravens in the Super Bowl for this year, so
Hmm.
the Ravens will be okay. They got their first win. I think they go into the Cowboys side of the ball. I mean, the Cowboys kind of woke up late. CD and Dak kind of
Yep.
got on into it on the sideline, so there's definitely
Yep.
a little bit of turmoil growing there. But they've looked pretty crappy like 2 games in a row. But I think they're kind of going to be like that all year long, where they're going to have like a good game and a bad game, and considering how they finished this game, I can see them coming out and having a strong game next week.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of going to be their season. So we'll see how they do.
I see
Who
them
do they play
rebounding as
next
well.
week?
I
Do you have
see
it
the
up?
Cowboys rebounding as well.
Yeah,
No, I can find out though, but I'll find out. We'll get back to it in a second.
yeah,
But I think they'll be fine. I think the Cowboys maybe like the Bengals maybe have just become slow starters. Granted, they won in week one, but I think they're just it's taking some time to kind of get their footing. Again, they had people hold
yeah.
out in
Yep,
the offseason.
that's right.
So
CD.
they'll get there. They're going to be a
Mm-hmm.
competent team. Their division is not anything that scares me. To be honest, the Eagles don't even scare me right now.
No,
I think the
Jalen
Cowboys
Hurts is
have a work
terrible.
that he's
He looks
it's
done.
they don't look great right
Yeah,
now. So the Eagles are not
they,
scaring me. I think the
they won because
Cowboys
of Saquon Barkley and Nick Sirianni.
have enough.
He's an idiot. That guy's an idiot. I can't stand that guy. Just
I'm
like
not a
his
huge fan of
face.
Sirianni as well.
And like his
Yeah,
calls, like they make the dumbest calls, like in the dumbest situation. Talk about poor clock management, poor management of the game situation. That dude is so bad at
yeah,
it. He made another couple of bonehead calls like that should have cost them the game today or two. So
yeah.
I mean,
The the Cowboys play the Giants, by the way, next week on Sunday
yeah,
Night Football.
oh yeah,
So
they're gonna win
so
that game.
they'll win. They'll go to
Yeah,
2-2, and I think the rest of the season will work
yeah,
out. I think
yeah.
they'll be in playoff contention. I don't see anything to be worried about there. But something that has actually surprised me so
Mm-hmm.
far in this season, we talked about this team kind of being where were they going to be? Were they going to be any good? Who
Yeah,
was going to be their quarterback? It ended up being the guy that I didn't think was going to be the quarterback. Uh, but now Justin Fields is in, and he has led the Steelers to 3-0. And my
yeah.
question to you, Tossie,
Mm-hmm.
is it time to take the Steelers seriously?
I
Now,
mean, they're.
I will. I just
Go
want to say
ahead.
real quick.
Yeah,
I think yes and no. I'm going to do a cop out because I think that the teams that they have played so far
yeah,
haven't really challenged them.
yeah,
They have done just enough to stay one step ahead, and this is Mike Tomlin being a amazing head coach.
yeah,
I think Mike Tomlin, there's a reason why he's been with that team for so long. There's a reason why he might right now be the longest tenured coach in the NFL next to Andy Reid. But this what you're seeing right now is coaching. What you're
yeah,
seeing right now is game plans. What you're seeing right now is planning out what to do against what magnify your strengths and demagnify your weaknesses against the teams that you're playing in each game, right? So
yeah,
do you need to take the Steelers seriously? Absolutely. You have someone like TJ Watt on the team. You have
yeah,
Najee Harris on that team. You have good players on that team. Are they a 3-0 team on the level of like the rest of the 3-0 teams like the Vikings and potentially the Bills and the Chiefs and stuff? I don't think so.
yeah.
But hey, props to them for getting to 3-0. What do you think?
Yeah, so they have they have probably the best defense in the NFL. So, and they got the best defensive player in the NFL in TJ Watt. So I think
Hmm.
they're going to be there. Like we kind of talked about it, like they're going to kind of be there. They never miss the playoffs, but now they're 3-0, but they do have a quarterback controversy coming because
Hmm.
now Russell Wilson is basically going to be healthy next week. They said Fields is going to start one more week. Now that Fields is 3-0, how can you go back to Russell Wilson when he's gotten better each game? This game he was better than the last game, and the Chargers
Yeah.
defense is a good defense, and he was able to kind of
Hmm.
like make some plays against them, and get them a pretty convincing victory there. And then the Chargers, they probably shouldn't have played Herbert today. I mean, he probably re-aggravated that high ankle sprain and may have put him out for longer than he would have been if
He
they
was
would
in a
have.
walking boot
Yeah,
after the game.
yeah. So it's like they kind of put him in harm's way, especially going against Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. It's a tough place to play, tough defense. I probably would have given him a little bit more than just 6 days to recover from a high ankle sprain. So, but
Hmm.
granted, he went out there, he wanted to go out there, and they started off strong. They got the Quentin Johnston, another one of our waiver pickups that we talked about. He got another touchdown. So, that was a positive for them. But after that, it was nothing. And, like Gus Edwards barely like recorded any carries. Definitely J.K. Dobbins is the guy you want, and I think that was well established after week one, as far as the running back in that offense. But other than that, looked like Bosa got hurt again. Like
Hmm.
it's just those things that kind of come up with the Chargers. Harbaugh's here, so we'll see how they do in the next game. But I don't know if you can necessarily take them seriously, especially if Herbert's going to miss time. I don't think without any kind of quarterback they're going to make any noise. They might not start, might lose a couple more games here with him out.
Yeah.
So
And to go from one team that is potentially going to lose their starting quarterback for a game or two,
yeah,
to a team who has been without their starting quarterback for 2 weeks
yeah.
and has won both games. No love, no problem. The Packers win. You like that?
What you talking about,
The
Willis?
pack the Packers win, man. Malik
Yeah,
Willis
yeah,
goes 13 of 19 for 202 yards and a touchdown, no interceptions,
yeah.
and they beat the Tennessee Titans, man.
Nice revenge
30 to
game.
14 in Tennessee.
Nice revenge
What I
game from
mean,
Malik Willis.
what a story, man. Again, it goes back to coaching, in my opinion. Matt LaFleur
Yeah,
can coach, and when Aaron Rodgers was there, the question was, oh, is it really LaFleur or is it Rodgers? Rodgers has
yeah,
been gone for a few years now, and they have continued their
yep.
trajectory
Haven't
of
missed a
being a
beat.
winning team, of
Yeah,
having a good culture, of having a
yeah.
good coaching staff, having great players,
Mm-hmm.
and making something out of nothing with Jordan Love, right? And
Yeah,
now Jordan Love's out after the first game. Malik Willis, come on down. He
yeah.
didn't look good
Two
once he
wins in
came
a
in on
row.
that first in that week one game, but 2 wins in a row, week two,
Yeah,
week three. Packers are here, man.
yeah. Yeah, no, the Packers are legit. They have got a really good defense. Like their defense, again, Will Levis likes to turn the ball over, and then he was sacked like 8 times. I mean, it was ridiculous. The Packers just like would not like stop. The defense, they did their job. They turned him over. They got a nice pick six again. You know, another mistake by Will Levis. Like I said, man, that guy's not good. Miami should beat them. Their defense alone
Yeah,
should be able to beat them, but
should is the
they're probably
the
going to
key word
lose
there,
to
my
them,
friend.
which is I don't know
Should is the
how they're
key
going to do
word.
it. They're going to find a way. But dude, if
Oh,
you
they'll
just
find a
hand
way.
them, you just got to play defense, hand the ball to A-Chain, get the ball to Tyreek Hill, and you should win that game, right? But we'll see
I
what
would
happens.
literally run every single play. I would run. I
Yeah,
would never throw the ball. Why would you throw the ball?
yeah.
Just
Or
run
just
around. Just to
just have Tyreek Hill run around, and get him the
exactly.
ball,
Just
hand him the
hand them the
ball.
ball.
Yeah,
Hand just shotgun
like
like do
here.
Wildcat
Yeah,
directly to Tyreek and just
yeah.
run.
Tyreek and A-Chain running Wildcat. So
Packers win. Congratulations
yeah.
to the Packers, killing
Yeah,
it with
Packers
or
are going to be
without
there.
Love.
And Jordan Love will be back next
From
week. He will almost play this game, so he'll be back next week. And Packers, like we said, after the injury, they're done. You put a fork in them, right? We were saying, we kind
yeah,
of came to that conclusion a little too quick. They basically played 2 games without him. They got 2 wins, and now the starting quarterback's going to be back next week. So
Yeah,
they're in good shape.
if I've learned anything in these 3 weeks of the NFL season is that I'm not talking about you and me, I mean everyone
Yeah.
has no idea what they're talking
No.
about
No.
because
For no.
the
Yeah.
the saying any given Sunday has absolutely proven true this year. It has just been crazy of all the ups and downs of the season so far. From one backup quarterback to another, the Carolina Panthers are no longer winless in the NFL.
Andy
They're no
Dalton.
longer winless.
They got the
Andy
same
freaking
record as the
Dalton,
Niners.
the and the Dolphins, if you want to go there. Andy freaking
Unbelievable.
Dalton
It was
goes to
he
Las
just
Vegas
just tears them
and
up.
scores 36
Yeah.
points
Three
and
touchdowns in the first half.
absolutely carves them up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Carves them
You
up,
kind of
man.
figured
Good.
that was going to happen, right? They're like, okay, we're going to bench Bryce Young. We're like, dude, and what does that mean? Bryce Young, like we said, is terrible. He's not an NFL player. That was probably one of the worst first overall picks
Yeah.
ever. And
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's like talking, oh, yeah, he'll be okay. But no, dude, he's not good. He's not good. He's too small. He can't see the field. He doesn't make plays. He's not good. He's not going to be an
Yeah.
NFL quarterback.
Yeah,
So
I'm
you could
with
trade
you.
for him if
I
you want if you're
think
another team. Miami, you want to trade for him? Go ahead. You're not,
no.
don't want to.
Please no.
Yeah.
No, I don't want him. And this just proves to you again. First off, look at what experience can do, right? Andy Dalton's been in the
Yeah.
league for what, 13, 14 years.
Yeah. I mean,
Obviously with Cincinnati for quite a
yeah.
while, and then has
He was
hopped
leading to the
around from team to
playoffs. Yeah.
team to team to team.
Yeah.
But he looked surgical today
Mm-hmm.
against a good Raiders defense. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, Panthers, and it's funny because you make that one switch, right? Nothing else changed for the
Yeah.
Panthers. It wasn't like
That
they
was it.
fired their offensive coordinators,
No.
like that's not like they fired. It was
Just had that
same
quarterback that can
personnel,
play.
quarterback that can read the field, make
Yeah.
decisions, and play.
There you
Andy
go.
Dalton, props to the Carolina Panthers. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this, by the way, and this is not me again saying that the world is burning around me, but if Andy Dalton and the Carolina Panthers continue to play this way, and Miami continues to play the way that they played, Miami's the worst team in the NFL, and I don't think it's
Mm.
close.
That's
And I don't think it's close. The Miami
that's
Dolphins, by the way, just a fun fact for you: the Miami
yeah.
Dolphins in the entirety of this season have never led in all three
Yeah.
games.
It's pretty bad.
The
They
game that
led against the
they won on the
Jaguars.
last they won on the last second
Yeah.
field goal.
Yeah. That's
So the
true.
time expired. They have never led in the three
Yeah.
games that they've played. We're not talking
It's
about the
wild.
Dolphins. We're moving on from one rookie quarterback, Bryce Young, who didn't do well, to another rookie quarterback. This is our last topic, by the way, who got his first win under his belt. It's time to talk about Bo Nix.
That was so
Bo
random.
Nix
But we talked about
and
this. I said that Bo Nix was going to be the best rookie quarterback, and I mean, he showed out
you were
today.
yeah, he definitely showed up. But what happened to Tampa?
Yeah,
What
that was an
happened
odd game. I don't know what happened. Broncos
at
just
home?
yeah, they underestimated, man. You never underestimate your opponent. They just thought they're going to show up and they're going to win the game, and they showed up and they're like, oh wait a minute, they actually want to play. This kid wants the ball on us. He wants to run the ball. He wants to throw the ball. He wants to score touchdowns. He wants to beat us, and he did.
Look at this,
So
man.
like,
Look at
yeah,
this. Bucky, this game plan from the Bucks makes no sense to me. Bucky Irving has 9 carries for 70
yeah,
yards, 7.78 your average
yeah,
yards per carry. Why are you not feeding him the ball
yeah.
more?
It
Why are
was
you
so
having
weird.
Baker throw 33 times for 163 yards? That's just not great.
No, I mean, Bucky Irvin looked good, man. They only gave like they gave him the ball like 4 or 5 times on one possession, and then they only gave him like four carries like the rest of the game. It was just the weirdest thing. Like he's definitely better than Rashad White. He's a better running back. So I don't know when it's gonna happen, but it's gonna happen that he's gonna be their starting running back at some point this season. But
Yeah.
that was another dude we kind of talked about picking up. So if you picked him up, you're like, you better hold on to him because eventually he's going to be the guy there. And so, and the dude, he can play. He can play.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Congrats to
yeah.
congrats to the Denver Broncos for getting their first win of the NFL season.
Yeah.
I think in the AFC West. Yeah, so they're 1-2. Raiders are 1-2. Chargers
Mm-hmm.
2-1.
Yeah.
Chiefs 3-0.
Chiefs.
Before we close it out, friendly reminder to like and subscribe to the PTW podcast. If you are new to the PTW podcast, again, Tassie and I talk about the NFL twice a week at minimum here on YouTube. We will be streaming on Facebook and Instagram in the future as well. And also, you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Before we go, Tossie, real quick, give me your predictions for
Monday
Jaguars
night.
at Bills
Mm-hmm.
Monday night and Commanders at Bengals. Who do you got winning these two games?
Yeah. So, uh, I don't think Trevor Lawrence is that good. I don't think he's that good,
No,
and
he's not.
I don't think they're going to beat the Bills. So I see the
No,
Bills winning this game. What's the line on the game? I can't really quite see it. What does it say on there? I think
it doesn't really
so it doesn't
doesn't
give us
say
the
the
line.
line.
So
Nope.
whatever the line is, I don't think it's going to be that many points. I don't think the Bills are favored by like more than 6 points, but I do think the Bills are going to win, and they'll win handily against them. I don't think the Jaguars are that great a team, and I don't
Yeah.
think Trevor
So,
Lawrence is that great a quarterback for being a number one
so
pick.
The Bills are -5.5.
Yeah. Well, I was pretty close, right? I said it's not
You're
more than
very
six.
close.
Man, look at
Yeah.
that. Look at that. The
There you
prognostication right there. For your eyes. That's how Vegas does it too. They're like, yeah, I don't think so. Six. But yeah, no, I think the Bills
go.
cover this game. I think they win. They're at home. They're a way
Yep.
better team than the Jaguars.
Yep.
They lost to Miami, so sorry, bro.
Yep. They did.
But
What
yeah, no,
about
I think
Commanders and Bengals? What are your thoughts on that?
this is the
Bengals are favored.
Bengals gonna get the
Bengals are
win.
-7.
Yeah, they're
Bengals are
at
-7.
home. That's a big spread. I think the Commanders are better than that. Like to get blown out. I think they've been pretty tough. They got a pretty decent defense. They coming off a pretty gritty win. Like they on against the Giants where they just scored a bunch of field goals. So I don't think that's
Yep.
going to happen again. But I do see them making the game closer. But I think the Bengals will win the game in the end.
Yep.
So
I agree. I
T.
agree on
Higgins is
both
back,
fronts.
so their
Yeah.
offense is
I
full.
pick I picked the two home teams to win both of these games on Monday
Yeah.
night. As always, again, make sure to like and subscribe to the PCW podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed week 3, as odd and as weird as it was, wherever you are listening to this. Until next time, my
Catch
name is
the
Amir.
ball, Ronnie Bell. Jesus.
He is Tossie, the football Greek. And we'll see you next time. Take care, folks.